up, everyone? We are at the A2 wind tunnel just north of Charlotte, North Carolina. We got Jeff on the computers back there. We got Jackson in the tunnel right now. And I'm here with Felt. I'm here with Envy, Zoot. We're going to test a bunch of positions, models, helmets, try to get a lot faster than Jackson. And then we're going to switch to the new Zoot P1X, see if that is any faster. And then we'll do the helmets. I got the casque. One I've been running for 2 years now. Casque Mistral. So we'll see with any sort of positional changes, if a new helmet or just a new helmet with the ones that have been coming out, if they're any faster. And then we're going to test some socks, some calf sleeves, and yeah, we're going to run you through it. Yeah, I flew in, I got in to my hotel at 2 a.m. Yesterday was a crazy day. Shot over to the airport, got in, built the bike just to do the chain. And then this morning, slept through all the alarms. Wake up to the hotel calling. Thankfully, my girlfriend has my location. Called the hotel to call me to wake me up. I treat my videographers really well. Got a nice Keurig here. I bet this thing is like 10 years old. Oh, this is sick, actually. Some cool running vibes. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. We are rolling. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina at the A2 wind tunnel. And we're about to get fast. All right, I'm gonna bring you through a full test at the A2 wind tunnel and what that looks like. Ideally, you're doing a bit of warm up before you get into the tunnel. You just wanna make sure you're holding the proper position once you get on the bike, because there's no movement. You wanna make sure you're consistent across all tests, all the hours, and that you're not warming up and relaxing into the position as you run and do more runs. Another key aspect of this is the adjustments. Time is money when you're in the tunnel, and you wanna lay out everything right outside the tunnel right there. So you get out of the tunnel after a test, you maybe go hear your results, but then you grab the next thing you wanna test, go put it on your bike, put calf sleeves on, whatever it is, really quick, because time is money in there. And here it is, here's the full test. As you walk into the tunnel, you close the door behind you, and then you'll jump on your bike. Jeff, the guy on the computer, he's gonna tell me to hold, and I'm gonna hold that position, fully steady. You can't adjust your saddle, adjust yourself on the saddle at all anymore. Can't adjust your hands. Everything is consistent from here on out. And then once the blades start going, the fan starts going, that's when you start pedaling, and that's when the data is being collected. And he did 0 yaw and 7.5 yaw. That's just what A2 does. Different tunnels do different yaw angles. And from here on out, it's just the same thing. Make adjustments, hear the results, keep repeating the tests.
So compared to the previous run, that was faster at both 0 and yaw. It was about 2 watts faster at 0, 2 watts faster at yaw.
Nice. Jackson?
Yeah, thank you.
That's what I heard too. Did you hear that? He was a little scared, his voice. So now we're gonna go add a bottle. I got about 18 tests done in the 3 hours I was there. At the very end of this video, Jackson and I actually did a live, and I'm gonna post most of the clip there with some of the surprises, our key takeaways, what were the biggest watt savings for us, and then is it worth it? I think that's the golden question here. Is it worth going to the tunnel? Is it worth the money? And then the rest of this video is just gonna be a montage of all the tests. Here we go.
5, which was 294, 289.
Ran a little late, so I'm actually going to be later than the late checkout.
What time is that?
I'll be back at 2, so 1 hour later.
So just compared to the previous run,
Yeah.
that was 3 watts, 4 watts faster at 0. Looks like the best he's had so far during his test.
Okay, that's a wrap on the A2 wind tunnel video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it interesting. If you want to stick around, Jackson Laundry and I go live on Instagram, and I put all of that at the end of this video where we go into some of our favorite parts, some of our not so favorite parts, and then some maybe big surprises. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's all like relative improvement on the day, especially with some of the knowledge that you just found out. And so I guess, do you want to do the good first?
I
No.
think let's keep it chronological. 595 US an hour. So I ended up using 2 hours, so it was 1190 US.
And I did 3 hours.
Oh, you did 3? Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect question. Thanks, John. This is Jackson's first time doing the tunnel. This is my second time. I went to Silverstone last year with the felt with Andy. He actually made the whole procedure. Like he's like, you're doing this, and if once this happens, like it's like A or B, and then we do like, and then go to the next thing. If
Oh,
this happens,
if this, then this kind of thing.
it was so nice. And then again, I'm not trying to talk bad on A2. It's just like it just felt dated. So that they had the wing dream, thankfully. I even messaged him just to double check, but they didn't have any of the other new helmets, which I was really curious about.
The
And
only
then,
other one they had that maybe you could have tested was the POC Tempor.
yeah, which I had already tested in Silverstone.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I only did the 3 helmets. Next question is, who is more organized?
Probably you. I mean, I was
Maybe.
recently organized. Like I had the help from Everett, which was great. I mean, I had everything planned. I just had to start modifying my plan because I wasn't going to get everything I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few things I wish I'd done
Oh
different.
yeah, that's always what happens when you go to the wind tunnel. But yeah, I debated whether to test or not, and I mean, it was later in the test. I should have done it right away.
Yeah.
I was on the fence of what to do, so I should have done baseline, which was the old P1X with the cask, and then I ended up putting on the what is it, the Easy Gains bottle, just with 1 on there.
Oh
So I
yeah.
just counted that as my baseline, but it wasn't. Like I've never actually used the Easy Gains. It was just a bit tricky to put on, so I was like, that's gonna take time to put on, so I'll put it on right away. And then I should have switched straight to the P1, the new P1X, I think after that, and then seen that, and then done every single test with the new suit from then on.
Justin Metzler's asking if we felt like it was worth it. Um, it's hard to say. Like I didn't get any actionable changes out of it myself. So, well, although I kind of did because Mark tested some eye flaps,
Mm-hmm.
and so explain that, Mark.
Yeah, so if anyone runs cask or like I'm just like, especially at Nice, super nerding out on all the new tech Aero stuff. And cask, they make the special visor. It's like the Aero Pro and the Aero Pro 2. And I was a bit skeptical of it, but I was like, I want to see. So I cut a visor to make these little like flaps at the bottom to deflect the wind essentially around your shoulders away, like kind of just get it around your shoulders and whatever, smooth it out or something. I don't know. Ended up doing that as my second test. I went baseline, cask, normal helmet, and then switched it to this other visor, same cast Mistral. and it was 4 watts better, like right there. And I think Jackson kind of got a little scared. He walked
I
in,
was
he's
like,
like,
what?
4 watts. So I was
And the
like off
first
to a
thing,
good start.
because here I am, like I just did the whole thing, and I got 4 watts from the Zoot kit right at the end. Mark's first change, 4 watts in the first 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, yeah. People are asking for numbers, so okay. One thing on numbers,
This is the
they're,
ugly.
they're supposed to tear the scale. They're supposed to tear the wind tunnel with the just the bike stand in there to essentially account for what the bike stand's drag is, and then you bring the bike and the rider in. This is what I learned after, because I just thought, oh, the stand's got to have some drag, and I didn't think about that you could subtract that out. So then I asked the wind tunnel guy today, did you tear it with the stand in there? And he said no. And he said they don't because of, I think the reason he gave was because there's an interaction between the stand and the wheels anyways. I don't really, doesn't really make sense to me. But anyways, they didn't tear it with the stand in there. So then I asked AI, how much does the stand probably add to the CDA? And it estimated 0.02 to 0.03. Like, what was your lowest power to hold at 0 degrees
Oh,
yaw?
I didn't even look at that. My lowest CDA number, I can pull up what you just asked.
Oh yeah,
Um,
to pull that up for
was
0 yaw.
for 0 yaw was 0.238.
0.238. Okay, yeah. So my highest was 0.234.
So I ended up just like raising the stack by, what did I do? 5 millimeters? I believe it just did five. But it took me like 10 minutes to do that, which is
Oh,
really annoying.
and you
So
only
if
did
you,
5 mils.
yeah, I think it was five. That's just like,
That's
again, it was a
happens
bit
to me.
tricky, and it wasn't even like rideable. Like this was just for wind tunnel testing. I just like put
Yeah,
one bolt in, and it was secure enough.
yeah,
But that like 10 minutes, when you do the math on it, it's pretty expensive. But I wanted to know like, and I got slower. That would have been pretty cool if it would have been at least the same. What point should someone think about doing wind tunnel testing, or at what point is it worth it? And I think this is like the last small percent. Unless you have like
yeah.
money to burn, there's so many other things to do, and a lot of things you don't need to go to the wind tunnel to test.
Like honestly, for me, I think the velodrome's better
That's right,
because
and it's cheaper too. It's
way
you're
cheaper. Like
riding as well.
I can do a couple hours for like 500 Canadian. You're not going to tease out 1 or 2 watts, but you'll get your best general position from that, I think. Different helmets. We both tried the Rudy Wing Dream. For Mark, it was better than the cask with the regular visor,
Yep.
but not quite as good as the cask with the thingies.
The Aero, and then I did those two, and then the Giro Arrowhead, so like the old Giro, not that goofy one.
Yeah,
It would have been cool to test that though, and that one was got like absolutely terrible, like
it was
20
so
watts
bad.
slower. I chose not to do hand angle second time at the tunnel, and we found previously that the 15-16% with the fast TT bars was best, so I
Yeah,
just stuck with that and pretty much exclusively went with gear and bottle placements.
yeah, yeah. See, that's way quicker.
It was quick.
Um,
Ended up getting, forgot what it was. Did I tell you 19, 20?
I could go back. I would not bother testing the rear bottle stuff. Now that I know it didn't make a difference, really, that I guess that's easy to say. But also, I knew it was either going to be like plus or minus a watt, and the thing to do is just put the dang bottle on if you need it.
Well, all right, biggest surprise then. I had a few.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay, so we already talked about it. The visor, that was pretty cool. 4 watts right away.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was so funny because we didn't. I was actually in there looking at the computer and talking to the guy because he was
Yeah.
going through my numbers while he was running yours, and then you just quickly got off, went back on, and we couldn't see what you did. And then the number was just holding way lower, and I'm like, what did he just do? Did he just like cut off half a leg or something? Like, how did he save it? Like, it was a significant difference. And then it was the eye flaps, and then
Yeah,
it
that
went
was pretty sweet. I
perfect.
was hyped. I was like, okay, it's gonna be a good day. And I didn't really see like any other huge jumps. But again, it was cool. I had some interesting stuff with bottles. The other one was on my Fast TT. I have the bike computer up, trying to do it on the so I can show you guys up here. And it's kind of pretty high. It's not flush with my forearm, so it kind of sits up in the wind. And I was like, it was like a 2 second switch. Like it was kind of worth the test. I didn't have any other place to put it, so I just took it off. And actually, it was slower. It was slower without it, which was pretty funny,
Hmm.
and like noticeable.
Yeah.
Um, so that was interesting. I was like, okay, so that my computer's doing something up there.
Yeah.
And then I do like so it's all about being essentially being as still as possible in the tunnel. I think that's pretty obvious. So I was
Yeah.
using my like we both use that Aero front bottle with a straw.
Yeah.
I did not test, I don't know why, putting a normal bottle up there. I did the one underneath, which was slightly faster, roughly the same. So that's kind of nice. I can add nutrition without any. I mean, we've seen it all the time with the rear. Like you're hopefully adding those for a gain now. But I didn't test like a 750 or 950 up top facing backwards like a lot of people do. I
Yeah.
almost exclusively race with the straw anyways. I just prefer that as so I can hold the TT position, but that would have been kind of cool.
How much were your differences at yaw? Because mine are like 0.226, 0.214.
That was the biggest difference by far.
Really? Because I'm seeing my differences are so here's one point, yeah, 0.226, 0.214. So that's a 0.012 difference.
Oh, dang, no, that was my point oh 0.07, 0.007 was the biggest.
Oh man, mine are all 10 plus.
That's just, you think that's just our frame? That's because of your disc.
But the disc, no, the disc is supposed to. I didn't have a disc. The disc is supposed to help more at yaw. We have a question about TT position. Should it pretty easy to get used to? I think a TT position should be pretty comfortable. Like if it's not on your back or your hips, I think usually it means your cranks are too long or you're too low or just your fit is way off overall. But the common one is too long of cranks is like really common. Like I have
Hmm.
160 cranks and that.
Recent, I ended up putting my elbows just a tad further because I was just getting this crazy pain like here as I was training for Lake Placid. That was like the limiting factor was like my shoulders. And when I
Yeah.
just moved them half an inch total, like not each side, but just half an inch total, it like crazy difference. That's all it took. And I know
Mine are
like
pretty wide. My
yeah,
elbows are
yours are pretty
wide,
wide. Some
but
people
my
like
shoulders are really narrow. Like,
but if people have that mobility, they can handle it. Like narrower, they like could be faster, right? Like for some people, it's probably going to be faster. Most people, but if it's like it was causing me to like not be able to relax, and then
yeah,
I'm probably end up being
your
higher, and then
your shoulders might end up wider. Like if you go super narrow, you can't get your shoulders narrow. But if you go wide, you can really touch.
yeah, and
Like
I was getting
just
this
do
arch.
that. Like they go narrower. It's just the way
Yeah,
to
I was
go.
getting arch in my back as well, and then
Oh yeah, you
so
did used to have an arch in your back, but you kind of got rid of that.
a little bit. Yeah, I was trying to work on that. So like a little bit to go. I could tell even in the tunnel. So he took pictures of every test run. They're extremely blurry, but it's somewhat helpful.
To answer the is it worth it? I'm not gonna go back, and someday I might go to Silverstone, but I would mix that in with a trip, which I believe is a similar cost.
Like for me, cycling is by far my weakest of the three, and like I actually push pretty decent power, and I'm just getting outbiked like crazy. So it's totally worth the investment because like if I could get down to even your CDA, like that would be huge.
Yeah. Well, you'd be basically the same speed as me because, well, close. Because
Yeah.
usually I don't do much more than you in a race, maybe like 10 watts.
So for me, it's worth it. Like
Yeah.
if I could get to your speed, I would be getting off the bike almost with the leaders then at like even at the T100 races. Or not the leaders, but like pretty dang close.